Final round's going to be Hot Stuff versus Monster Vet. It should be quite a battle, Bob.
Here we go for the winner in the monster truck competition. Hot Stuff all set to go against the Vet.
This is final round. This is for the championship. Monster Vet up against Hot Stuff, and Hot Stuff to an early lead. It's going to be tough all night. Watch Cliff. He wants this championship. Swings hard, makes a good lap. They're lined up, but Monster Vet's got a little bit of advantage. It's neck and neck. It's neck and neck. Monster Vet may have just a little bit of a lead. It's going to go to that final turn. Monster Vet clearing the tires. Oh, my heavens, it's going to be down to the final turn. They're making the swing together. Who's it going to be? It's anybody's race. It's Hot Stuff. Hot Stuff. Well, Bob, that one wasn't over until they reached the finish line, and Hot Stuff taking the lead by only maybe a truck length.
So the rookie, Jeff Boehner, wins again.
A beautiful job, and he is the monster truck champion this weekend. Well, Bob, this shows you exactly how close it is. Right there, Hot Stuff makes his turn. He sees Cliff out of the corner of his eye. He knows he's got to go for the best, and he just nails that blower motor Chevrolet and comes to life and catapults him across the line as he takes first place in the Monster Truck Championship tonight.
Hot Stuff, the winner.
Making him a little parade lap, and a well-deserved parade lap it is. He's a hometown guy. He's right here from Yakima, Washington, doing a great job.
Coming up next, the mud bog racing. Mud. Who knows about mud better than Mike Gallaway? Mike?
Thanks, Bob. Well, it's going to be one night of wild mud bog racing. The track is about 150 foot long. It varies in depth from 2 foot at the starting line up to 4 foot at the finish line. It's a good consistency of mud, and you kind of wonder what makes good mud. This is a good mud. It's thick. If the vehicles get stuck, it more or less sucks them down in the mud. Makes it tremendously hard to go through. These are real tough mud racers, and it's going to be wild tonight. Brian's going to show us just a little bit about it. Brian, go ahead and stick your foot in the mud. Well, Bob, it looks like it's going to be a terrific night of mud bog racing tonight.
Now, here we are with the mud bog competition.
It's going to be a tough track. Now, you probably won't see it in the medium length and the long length wheelbase trucks. But in the lighter classes, in the short wheelbase, the little light Jeep, they actually won't run through the mud. They'll try to get enough speed to run over the top of the mud, much like you'd skip a rock across a lake. That's what the idea is. They don't want to run through it. They want to run over the top of it. They don't make it all the way through. They measure to the center of the front hub. They make it all the way through a timed situation.
In the long category is Mudbuster, which is a Datsun driven by Lauren Nisus out of Auburn, Washington.
Well, it's a 70 model Datsun with a 427 cubic inch Chevrolet. Tell you what, this is one to watch. He is quick. Let's see what happens. He's after it. He's got a good run, a good straight pass, a beautiful pass.
Now there you see how it's done.
That is the way it is done to put into books. And a beautiful job on that Mudbuster. Had a straight pass all the way down. He could stay on the throttle and did a beautiful job. Right here, he leaves hard. The truck's a little bit sideways, but he corrects that before he ever gets in the pit. Now watch, Bob. The front tires are not digging down in the mud. They're actually riding on top of it. He's just skipping across the top of it. He makes it all the way through, lets out, slows it down, and then drives right on out of the pit. A beautiful job tonight for the Mudbuster.
You know, it's interesting to me as a novice to this. You take a look at all the work that goes into the truck, all the shining of the truck and cleaning of the engine parts, etc. before you get here. Then you take that truck and run it right into the mud.
Wouldn't you love to have a car wash right outside?
Here goes Sauce Wash.
1966 Ford with a 455 cubic inch Buick, and he's going to do it. He did it. All the way through that pit, and a tremendous job for Jeff Boggs out of Monroe, Washington.
Now, the Mudbuster seemed to go over the top and gain speed. That time, it looked like the truck just powered its way through the mud.
Powered its way through the mud. Had a little bit different design. He didn't have the flat paddle tires, the flotation tires. Had a tall tractor top tire.
Take a look at it here, Mike. He just powers his way through.
You notice he doesn't run the flat paddle type tires. He runs a tall, skinny tire, get it up, get him some ground clearance, and he's going through the mud instead of on top of it. And a great job, Sasquatch, fighting it all the way through, and a beautiful pass on that truck. 455 cubic inch Buick motor. Now we're going to go over to Last Defiance. This is Betty Stout. This is one of our lady competitors. Betty will just hammer it and work it all the way through. She's picking up speed. She's got a good pass in it for him. Betty may do it. She may do it. She did it. She did it.
She did it.
Betty's just churning the mud. She's already made the pass. She drives it right out the end of the pit. And the fans are going wild.
Last Defiance, Betty Stout out of Portland, Oregon.
1967 Ford.
And again, sheer power.
Right down at the bad end of the pit. It's a 466 Ford motor, and I'll tell you one thing, Betty is driving all the horsepower out of Last Defiance that can possibly find. Right there out of the pit, and a beautiful job with a fine, fine pass for that lady.
High. Do it again. Sky High, 1977 Ford.
427 cubic inch Chevrolet motor, and he's going to have to power his long way all the way through the pit, and I believe he's got it under control right there. Taking a lot of horsepower to turn the tires and all that mud, but he's made it all the way through. He'd like to go ahead and drive out of the pit instead of being pulled out.
Jeff Kirksey of Woodinville, Washington. Well, after a slow start where the trucks were getting bogged down one right after another, now we have the competitors powering their way through.
Right here, he gets into the pit. Now, they're cutting some ruts in the track. Not a lot of them. They're filling in pretty much as they go through, but it's helping the guys get a little bit better shot at this mud pit. It's taking a lot of horsepower to turn the tires in this 3-foot deep mud, and this Ford with a big Chevrolet motor in it is doing it and doing it in style, Bob.
Well, if it's in the name, this guy should be able to get it done. Ron Sears, again from the state of Washington, driving Mr. Mud.
1979 GMC with a 350 cubic inch Chevrolet motor. Not running the taller tires. It could be a little tough on him, as that pit is one bad pit tonight. But let's see how Mr. Mudd does. He's going to pull it up a little bit. He's got to go all the way through the pit tonight. If you don't make it through the pit, you're not in the money.
Mr. Mudd, Ron Sears, set to make his run.
Getting ready to try on this treacherous pit with Mr. Mudd.
There he goes.
Oh, Bob, he's in trouble already, as he did get off the starting line just the way he needed to. And here again, the front end looks like it may have quit on it, and right there's all of it.
Looking at Mud Mad, 1974, driven by Rob Mulder out of Vancouver, British Columbia.
Now, you notice he's running the tall, slim implement tires. He's going to get a little bit more ground clearance out of it. He won't run on the top of the mud, but he'll try to power through the middle of the mud, and he can very possibly do it. Now, this is Mud Mad. This is a 427 cubic inch Ford motor. Pulled up there, backed up a couple of times, and what that actually did is cleared him some ruts, packed the mud down, hopefully give him a little more traction from the starting line. Let's see if he can make it all the way through. And he's got to go all the way through and to be in the running for the #1 money, and he's got to do it real quick.
We've had a number of trucks that have had big success here, and a number of trucks that have gone nowhere. Let's see what happens to Mud Mad. A lot of Canadian competitors here in Seattle.
A lot of mud racing, very strong in Canada. And there's some very, very fine mud racers as we've seen here tonight from Canada. Watch this Mud Mad truck. He could very well blast this pit and do it in a hurry. Gives him the flag. Here he goes. Got a good pass going. He may do it.
And he's going to do it easily. Mud Mad, driven by Rob Mulder out of Vancouver, British Columbia.
Zipped right through the mud like it was a Sunday afternoon drive, and a beautiful job from Mud Mad.
It's a heck of a Sunday afternoon drive.
Here's Mud Mad as he leaves the starting line area. It's pretty rough. and pretty treacherous. Once he gets in the pit, though, it kind of evens things out, and he powers his way right down through the middle of it. Look at the Bud flying in all directions. There's the finish line, and he's very happy with that pass.